My esteemed viewers, in this tutorial we will elaborate on closed hashing. You may kindly recall that in the previous tutorial we discussed open hashing. In closed hashing there is a great difference that all the keys are stored in the hash table itself without the use of linked lists. Of course, this implies that the table size m must be at least as large as number of keys n. And especially this closed hashing is applicable in dynamic database management systems wherein keys are inserted, keys are deleted and keys are searched more frequently than in a static database. Different strategies can be employed for collision resolution. The simplest one that is being employed is called as linear probing. As per this method, it checks whenever a key is to be inserted, it checks the cell following the one where the collision occurs. If that cell is empty, the new key is installed there. If the next cell is already occupied, the availability of the cell's immediate successor is checked. And this continues so until a vacant cell is found, and if it is found it will be inserted. And if the end of if the end of the hash table is reached, the search is wrapped and to the beginning of the table, that is, it is treated as a circular array. It works like a circular array, and there wherever the place is found, wherever the cell is found, it is inserted. To search for a given key, first of all the hash value is computed by using hash function, and as soon as the key, the cell number is available, the search is followed. If the cell is empty, we must compare the k with the cell's occupant. If they are equal, we have found the matching key. If they are not, we compare either a matching key, a successful search, or an empty cell, unsuccessful search. Okay, this is how it happens. And of course there are other intricacies that are to be discussed. Of course we will reinforce our understanding on this closed hashing with examples. Here is an example. Input sequence consists of 30, 20, 46, 56, 75, 31, 19 and 48. Hash function happens to be h of k equal to k mod 10, k mod 11. Therefore number of cells happens to be 11, as you have understood. Okay, therefore h of 30 would yield 11 2s are 22 and the remainder is 8. Similarly, h of 20 is 11 1s are 11 and what remains is 9, the remainder is 9. And h of 46 happens to be h of 44, 11 4s are 44, what remains is 2, this is 2. And similarly, h of 56 is 11 5s are 55, therefore what the remainder is 1. And h of 75 is 11 6s are 66, it is 9 again. And h of 31 is 11 2s are 22, it is 9 again. And h of 19 is 8, and h of 48 is 4. This is how we calculate. Okay, now we will start inserting, and this is the 0th cell. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So we will first of all insert 30, and it is the 8th cell, therefore there is no problem. It is straightforward insertion. And h20 is 9. Okay, 9 comes 20. In the 9th cell comes 20, and 46 is 2, it will go to the second cell, 46, and 56 is 1, no problem, and 75 is 9, so it's already filled. It will search for the next cell is empty, therefore 75 is inserted over here. And then comes 31, that's also 9, it is filled over here, it will go to this place, this is also filled, it will wrap around and it will fill up over here, so 31 is inserted over here. Okay, the search for the empty cell will be wrapping around and it will come to 0, 0th cell happens to be empty, it will be inserted over there. Then comes 19, it is 8, so 8th cell is also filled, this is filled, on searching this is also filled, it will wrap around, searching will wrap around, and it's also filled, this is also filled, and here it is inserted. And then comes the 48. Okay, this is how it is filled. Anyway, though we may find a dearth for space seemingly in a dynamic database management systems where keys are deleted more frequently, deleted, inserted, okay, in a real-time database system, okay, I think it is literature has it to say that empty cells are available. In the crucial case, of course, we need to have as many cells, as many keys, which is not economical, and here, as you would have guessed, 19 takes a lot of comparisons. If you want to search for 19, okay, 19th, the cell is 8, the searching will come over here, it is filled, and it will search over here, that is also filled. So comparisons are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 comparisons will take place before the algorithm declares that the key number 19 is present. Okay, now the one that we did in the previous this thing, okay, here the hash function is h of k that we used previously. Okay, let us not change that. It is k mod 13. Of course, the previous this thing will tell you the insertions. This is 0th cell, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th. Okay, the hash value of a happened to be 1, therefore a is inserted over here, a will be directly returned. Therefore if the keys happens to be strings, okay, or substrings, definitely it will be a string array. It's an array of strings, that's all, okay, because you cannot insert a character a string into a cell. Okay, it cannot be an integer array, definitely it should be a string array. Okay, and fool gets 9, of course fool will be inserted over here. Okay, I think how to calculate this hash values, you are requested to view tutorial number 4, okay, wherein it has been elaborately discussed. Okay, ordinal values of f, ordinal value of o and d. For example, ordinal value of f is, ordinal value of f is 6, and o is 15, 6 plus 15 plus 15 plus 4. Okay, and you can add that and you can divide by 13 and you can take the module, that's modulo operation, modulo division, it will get us 9. Okay, therefore it is inserted over here. And as far as and is concerned, it will go to 6, and will go to 6, a full and. His will go to 10, his money will go to 7, okay, money will go to 7. Then R will go to 11 because it yields a hash value of 11, R will yield, and soon is also 11. Okay, soon will be inserted here only because 11 is already filled up. Soon. Then parted comes with 12 as the key. 12 is already filled, therefore the search will search for the empty cell will wrap around and parted will be written over here. PRTD. This is how it is being filled up. Now, as far as searching is concerned, let us say the parted will consume two comparisons, because parted will have 12 as its key value, hash value. So it comes over here, it is being filled up with soon, therefore it searches, okay, by wrapping around. So therefore number of comparisons is 1 and 2, and so also the number of comparisons for soon happens to be 2. For R it is only 1. For all other keys it is only 1. Okay, therefore the number of comparisons depends upon whether or not the key, the hash key, is filled up in an available empty cell, or it is being filled up in the cell which is being allocated by application of hash function. Anyway, deletion is not a straightforward thing, okay, because let us say if R is deleted, then we do for searching soon. Then if soon is searched, okay, and the hash value will happen to be 11 for soon also, therefore the searching will bring the probe over here, and the cell, upon looking at the cell being empty, the algorithm may decide that soon is not there. So in order to avoid this, so same thing can be extended here also. For example, 20 got 9 as its hash value. So if 20 is deleted, and if the algorithm searches for 75 or say 31, on looking at this particular hash value of 31 is also 9 and 75 is also 9, therefore upon looking at an empty cell, the algorithm may decide the absence of that particular key, or it may declare mistakenly that key is not found. So in order to avoid this, whenever deletion is done, it's a customary practice to leave a sentinel, some kind of a character which is not found in any of the keys, and that sentinel will be left as a mark of the key that was being there is being deleted. Okay, so when the search happens for the key, when it finds a sentinel present in that particular cell, the algorithm will be able to trace and it will be able to carry forward its searching for the possible availability of the key, okay, with the same hash value. Okay, there are chances. These are all some of the disadvantages associated with closed hashing, unlike open hashing. With open hashing, there are no problems because each and every cell finds a linked list which is as lengthier as the keys that are accommodated in each and every cell. Here, the very important difference between closed hashing and open hashing happens to be, in closed hashing, only one key is to be inserted in a cell. If it is an integer array, it could be an integer array hash table. Otherwise, if there are strings or alphanumerics, essentially hash table consists of a list of strings. It's a string array. So hash table gets closer to full. This situation may occur. This particular situation is also called as clustering. Okay, the situation of hash table coming to a close is called as clustering. All the keys will be clustering to one or the other cell, so that there won't be any vacancy that is left for the probable next key. Okay, because it will find probing will yield a sequence of contiguously occupied cells. For example, the final stage of the hash table in the previous example happens to be closed here also, 2, 3, 4 and 5, then it becomes a problem. Therefore, there is, in order to resolve this particular problem or this particular issue, there is another method called as double hashing. Okay, under this scheme we use another hash function to determine the fixed increment for the probing sequence to be used after a collision at a location. Anyway, the explanation of this double hashing technique is beyond the scope of this tutorial. Therefore, we may have another tutorial wherein the double hashing technique is elaborately explained. There are several applications. Of course, with a good note, we will close this tutorial. The hashing as a method has lot of applications. It was invented by since its discovery in 1950s by IBM researchers. Hashing has found many important applications. In particular, it has become a standard technique for storing symbol table. Symbol table being a table of computer programs symbols generated during compilation, or compiler that generates symbolic instructions. Of course, compilers do work with symbolic instructions or mnemonics. These symbols are stored using a hash table. With some modifications, it has also proved to be useful for storing dictionaries on the disk. Since disk access is expensive compared with the probes performed in the main memory, it is preferable to make many more probes than the disk access. Accordingly, a location computed by a hash function in extendable hashing indicates disk address of a bucket, that can hold up to B keys or up to N keys. When a keys bucket is identified, all its keys are read into main memory and then searched for the key in the question, or for the key that is to be searched. Some of the recent applications of this significant applications of this hashing has been the message digest, password verification, compiler operation, Rabin-Karp algorithm where strings are searched, linking file name and the path together. Of course, more detailed explanation of all these applications are found in net. It can be googled, and I suggest my respected viewers to go through this if at all they are interested. Anyway, it doesn't come, the elaboration of all these applications doesn't come in the purview of this particular tutorial, and this tutorial is meant for understanding the very basics of closed hashing. So we will come out with the next algorithm design technique, that is namely dynamic programming. Dynamic programming will be the next tutorial discussion that will come in, that is on the annual. Until then, bye.